Yeah. Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss, and you ain't gotta give a about no code.
Tell me who unleashed our animal instinct. Why the op standing there tickle pink? Have a drink, no more liquor. Got a poison. One thicker, one gangster, one hole in the desert for the snitch. What happened to the cold? What's this?
Welcome into the Franchise Podcast. I'm your host, Nishan Zaragoza, joined by yours truly, Joe Rigo and TQ. And guys, where do I even start? Today officially marks day one. NFL football is back, guys. And not only that, we're coming off the most exciting week of week one, college football. Guys, did y'all watch the USC LSU game? It was hot.
We were there.
It was popping. Okay, y'all were there. I want to, later on in the show, we're going to hear about all of franchises. Well, the three main bosses were there. Hear about their experiences. And then last but not least, UNLV, guys. Whoop. The Houston Cougars, that is Joe. That's Joe's beat, right? He covers them like a glove. Guys, I want to start off with that. UNLV beats the Houston Cougars, and I want to start off with you, Joe, because you've been following this team for a long time. It was a 27-7 victory, so it wasn't even just simply a win. It was a beat down. Tell me your experience with that. Clearly, you weren't there, but you will be there this upcoming weekend.
No, we had Kyla there. Kyla Lacoste, who shot all the pictures, so shout out to her. She did a hell of a job.
Yes.
I want to know first your expectations. I'm gonna give
For
you
the
clear.
season?
I'm gonna give you clear, discrete questions.
Okay.
I want to first know your expectations for the season. And what was your outcome as far as what you've seen in game one?
Well, for the season, I fully expect UNLV to be in the Mountain West Championship, and I fully expect them to be playing Fresno State. And I'm selfish for saying that because obviously here I love UNLV, and, I love all the guys on the team, Coach Odom, all my friends on the staff, but also Tim Skipper is a really good friend of mine, and I'm glad T-Skip got the job at Fresno State. And Fresno State, credit them for how they played Michigan. They really should have beat Michigan. It wasn't for 3 or 4 different plays. Michigan played scared at the end. So I'm really worried about Fresno State. But for this game, I looked at going into this game, I thought this was a very winnable game. I was glad that I was able to break the news that Sluka got the start. I think Matt Sluka is a better fit for the go-go offense than what Jaden Maaba was. Jaden's more of a passer, big arm. Sluka knows when to pull, knows when to keep. He does a really good job of just really playing lights out on the offense. You've seen him when he was running the ball. People don't talk about it. He's only 3 yards away from being the leading rusher for UNLV in the game. A game where Barry Odom really called the dogs off midway through the third quarter and said, we're not going to put the ball in the air. And they did 3 times the rest of the game because they had the game in hand. So for me, UNLV is the best group of 5 team out right now. Just missed the top 25. And I fully expect them to go out this week against Utah Tech and whoop that trick.
I mean, I'm on the other side of the ball, as always. Y'all know how this goes. As far as, I will say this much. Go-go offense, for me, it's the Niners. Just plug some good athletes in there, and the system has people so shook and so just overwhelmed. Is that a good word for it?
Confused.
It confuses. So definitely saw that last year and kind of just put it in my own head that, okay, if they can keep Marion around and they can keep running this system, they can consistently win football games. What I was interested in is the defense. I finally got out to a couple of practices. Coaches, they be on my head, man, but I made it. And naturally, I wanted to see my number one issue for UNLV for the time that we have been covering them. I want to see some get off on the defensive line. At practice, I saw some quick burst steps, and that made me feel like coming back. So I am. This is the first time I've been excited about UNLV on the defensive side of the ball. I was excited. I'm a homer. Dougie B went to Sarah. I was excited when he was named the starter when that happened. But I'm really excited about this defense. I wanted to see how it looked on a Saturday. And against Houston, I feel good about the season. I feel good. I'm saying I see the same thing as last year. No disrespect to Skip, but I think Boise State is a beast. And it's
I don't see it with them.
It's a collision course between UNLV and Boise State to me.
Really, I don't see it. I don't see it with Boise State because of the quarterback position. Now I have YouTube TV, so I watched 4 games on Saturday while getting ready for the UNLV game and working and whatnot, right? Because we're how Saturdays are. For those of you who don't know, don't call me on a Saturday. Don't call them on a Saturday because our Saturdays are screwed right now.
No joke.
But watching Boise State, their quarterback was not impressive, and it's only the running back. He's not going to score 6 touchdowns a game. If that's he is.
Does he have to?
he just might with the way they play. I mean, honestly. But to your point with the defense, first of all, let me give 2 guys some major love, or 3 people, 3 Texas boys, Jonathan Baldwin, Cameron Oliver, both Houston natives, and Michelle McDuffie, another one. Those 3 had a huge game. Jackson Woodard
He balled out.
showed why he's a captain. You know, like you seen what an SEC style defense can look like if it's recruited the right way. And that's something that Coach Owen and Mike Shear have done a really good job of. They're great at identifying players to fit what they want to do. Let's talk about Jalen Catalon, 2 interceptions, 1 for a pick 6. Talk about Tony Grimes. Shout out to the Nuke. He had he shut down one side of the field. There was just so much movement. Malik Chavis, another playing safety, and again, coming up making big hits. You see that. Then you see role players. Lucas Conte getting in the game, moves from DN to D tackle, and had a PFF grade of almost 80, for a guy that's a redshirt freshman. Yes. And I'm biased with Luke. I coached him in youth ball. But seeing him do that and then him tell me I feel like I can breathe playing inside, that makes me feel really comfortable. And then, offensively, we were at a practice night a couple weeks ago, and this is before the announcement was made. And as Squeeze to my left and Mia to my right. And as I'm watching during red zone, Sluka made a throw that I said to Squeeze, I was like, yo, that's an NFL throw. He fitted in between 2 defenders in the end zone. The next play, it was a play where he had to roll to his right and throw to the corner of the end zone. And it was a throw that makes you go, oh, wait a minute, that's an NFL throw. What do we see on Saturday? Bad snap, picked it up, rolled to the right, made the same exact throw he made in practice when DeJesus did the toe drag swag and got the 1 toe down for the 2nd touchdown. That's something that Sluka works on. So when it came to naming the starting quarterback, I asked the coaches. And what was said to me was, whether he was with the 1s, 2s, or 3s, Sluka just made plays. You can't ignore that. Now, yes, he threw the interception. That's a coachable moment, though.
So it was just a bad decision, man. Just trying to do too much at that time.
I don't mind that, though, because you're taking a shot. I love the way he plays. You see now Holy Cross. There's, the clip is out there. He gets hit, his helmet flies off. He's still finishing plays. He does the same thing here. So credit the coaching staff. Look, Houston, their offensive line played like dog crap.
Their quarterback has been making bad decisions since junior high.
Now, why you gonna crap on Donovan like that, dog? He don't even claim Gorman, though, and I don't blame him for that, though. I don't blame him for that, because he kind of got done dirty at that time. But yeah.
I want to talk about a little bit more about Matt Sluka, right? Because from what I've noticed is he just processes things so quickly. But Joe, I want to ask you first, how does he maintain that starting position when he has another quarterback that could be runner-up?
He just got to be himself. Like, he's comfortable in his skin. I think he's thrown he threw for 3,000 yards and ran for over 1,000 last year at Holy Cross. He knows what he can and what he can't do. And that's the thing about him that I like. He knows, okay, I can throw the ball, and he throws a really good deep ball, but I know when I can run the ball and when I shouldn't. There's one play where and it spoke volumes to me, and it probably was under the radar to most people. It was in the third quarter, and he gave the ball to the running back. And the running back, he got like a 2-yard loss or whatever. And at the end, he was like, and you could tell like he knew he should have kept it because the end crashed. And he was just trying to, be a good teammate and get them that yards. Yeah. I really think that him being comfortable in his own skin and limiting his mistakes, because as long as he doesn't throw 3 or 4 interceptions a game, we're cool. Look at last year. Maaba at the end of the year was throwing picks more than he was throwing touchdowns.
Yeah, good point.
So I mean, you got.
I don't want to get. I'm gassed up about the defense, all right? But I don't want to be too gassed up about the defense. At the end of the day, look, I'm not trying to pile on Donovan, but like, it just wasn't good quarterback play on Houston's side. Partly because they had a terrible offensive line and UNLV was just wreaking havoc, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to see that in Mountain West play. Mountain West has got some competition for them this year. So, and then I asked Coach Odom when we had him on the show, the fact that there's tape now, there's film on that go-go offense, this iteration of it. What are we going to see once we get deep into Mountain West play? But at the end of the day, man, I always say it. I say it for every level of football. If you got a defensive line, you can compete.
Yeah.
And they got a defensive line now.
Well, I like that the defense has improved for sure a lot since last year. But the thing that you mentioned about the go-go offense is the thing that I think about, right? Brendan Marion has not shown everything that he can possibly do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so much that his guys are learning at such a fast rate is what it seems like. And I know you've mentioned that teams are going to, I guess, figure out the playground of the go-go offense. Yeah. It's like, how do you push forward from that? Like, how do you protect what you have?
I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I just can't believe that we're going to go into another season where I see the type of chaos on the opposite sideline that I saw last year.
Really?
Yes. It was chaos.
So I don't know if you know, I don't know if I told you this, he hasn't shown the whole offense.
I'm sure.
Like this week against Houston, and I'll say it now against Utah Tech, it's going to be vanilla.
I'm sure. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. And
I think against Kansas, we're going to see some things.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like you said, he has a nucleus that's going into their second year after a second camp in that offense. It's certain things you can open up as your guys learn it and get more comfortable with it.
How are they learning it so fast? Like, I understand that they ran this last year, right? But you have a ton of new players, right, that come in. How are these guys' IQs setting on what? Okay. I mean,
your ass is a D1 football athlete. You better goddamn
True, but it's just like, I feel like some players just don't catch on as quick as others. But it seems like Brendan Marion is a really good coach. Just the way that his presence is on the sideline, and even having that presence of being on the sideline and not being up in the box. That's what is impressing me about him. Like, he's just a good coach.
I'm gonna answer that. But let me say this first. Brennan, your swag for the Houston game, all you needed was a grill.
That chain.
And you looked like you was going to the turkey hut to get a turkey in a slab with some candy paint, listening to some DJ Screw and some Ghetto Boys, man. I swear to you, looked like you was Houston's finest, and you ain't even from Houston. Hey. But I'll say this, when it comes to the plays, if you guys listen to the Hey Red Pod with myself, Mia, and former UNLV quarterback Doug Brumfield that comes out every Tuesday evening, Doug explained that. He said when the quarterbacks come into the quarterback room every morning, Brennan and Ken Merch are drawing plays up, and with music playing, they're drawing plays, if players have plays, put them on the board, and they'll incorporate them if they work. Wow. So so you're going in there already. It's not a hard playbook to learn. Brennan purposely made it easy and simple because I wrote about it last year. You want to play fast and you want to play angry because now you're scoring. So his whole goal is to score 50 points a game because not everybody's going to be able to score 50. They haven't figured out the offense since they beat UNLV September 2nd, 2017 when he was Howard's OC running that offense. So this offense is not easy to figure out. And it's simple to learn. And
I'll tell you this much: nothing works better in a locker room than instituting a new system, and then your players see that system consistently work.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, Joe, you mentioned the swag of Brendan Marion, but I could just imagine, right? He's a mastermind on the field. What does his playbook look like? Like, I wish I could just look through it, just a little peek.
Okay, so I've seen it. he showed me it, and I'm just going to say this. One of my best friends, Dream Knight, shout out to you, coaches an 11U football team. He was up here with me during a spring practice. Brendan gave him some of the plays. He's running it with the 11U. And they're averaging 40 points a game through 2 games. He scored 48 and 38 in 2 games.
Wow.
That's
some
how
10-year-olds, some 11-year-olds running the playbook.
Yes. I went to practice and we were down there at coach for the Raiders training camp. Watched him coach it up, and the kids are picking up. It's not difficult. So it's not a ton of plays. It's probably about like this thick. It's not like a thick playbook like Arroyo had these playbooks that were like this thick, where you had check with me's and line calls. It's not like that.
I would say it's not like that now because he's holding so much back. Maybe it's just like that temporarily.
Well, this is a week where they have held it back last week, this week as well. They're going to hold it back a little bit. But you seen something like when DJ Irvin threw as a receiver came out through a pass. DJ, by the way, you was a high school quarterback. You're my guy. You got to throw a better ball than that, bro. Like, I expect more. You a baseball player at that. I expect you to throw a better ball, DJ. But overall, the offense, there's a lot more to go, but it's still not that thick. Because it's a play, and it's reversed.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And you have options based off of that. And the options are really simple reads.
Yeah. UNLV is definitely starting to make noise. I want to touch back a little bit more about the defense. We're going to talk about rankings. Jackson Woodard, Mountain West Player of the Week. Mm-hmm. That's an amazing accomplishment, right? 11 tackles, career high, 3 sacks. Now, Barry Odom has a press conference every week, and in the press conference, he stated that he believes that UNLV should be in the top 25. Now, the top 25 ranking has officially came out. UNLV got 1 vote. Tell me your opinion about just hearing Barry Odom say that, right? He has such hunger for his teams, and he's expecting now. What does that 25 ranking mean?
I mean, I think it would create some validation for the fact that he's come in and turned his program around the way that he has. Now, I mean, here's the thing. It's early in the season, first and foremost. Houston, who's been pretty damn good the last couple of years, probably won't be pretty damn good this year. They've had a drop-off. They had some people leave. I don't think we have a big sample size. Like, come on, let's just be real. Like, we're a Las Vegas company. It's a Las Vegas show. We want to see UNLV win, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen them lose too much. I mean, you're alumni. Come on, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
I think my feelings are in it more than anyone else.
Yes, as they should be. So, I get it, and we definitely want to see them turn the corner. I believe that they have the foundations to do that. Mm-hmm. I believe that Coach, he's been around the block enough to know if he's got a set of dogs or not. I mean, I've been shooting them long enough to know if they got a set of dogs this year. And I'm not to take anything away from the previous teams, but it's a little bit different now. Things are different. It sounds different. It feels different. They practice different. It's just a new vibe. So I'm not going to necessarily say that they deserve it now, but I'm also expecting for them to win some more games before they get their just due. Like, by the time they are ranked, I do believe they'll be ranked this year. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be a couple of weeks late because there's just always the eyes of college football. They don't give us no respect out here. Nowhere on the West Coast, really. Which is why I'm so glad the Trojans did what they did the other night. Thank you very much for that one.
Shout out to the guy who voted for him, UNLV in the poll. You're a genius.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If UNLV goes 3-0, they beat Utah Tech on Saturday, and then they have Kansas. They beat Kansas. They should be ranked. I personally think they should be ranked right now at 25. I'm biased, but here's a quick anecdote about Coach Odom before we move on. Last year, he told the players in his opening, I won't say press conference, but his team meeting, there's going to be a game sometime in November, late October, November. One of you are going to need to make a play. One of you are going to have to make a play. You're going to be called on to make a play. Don't know when it's going to happen, but just you have to be prepared to do it. Doug Brumfeld against Arizona got in for one play. The play broke down. He picked up 15 yards and a first down. And the first thing he thought of was what Coach Odom said when he got hired. That belief, that trust is why UNLV is different. They didn't have that before.
Agreed.
Oof, Barry
Good way to
Odom
put
is
it.
creating some straight dogs, y'all. All right, when we get back, we're
We
going to
got
talk about
drink
the
specials
long-awaited
all night.
conversation.
It's the best place to
LSU,
watch
USC,
any game,
Allegiant
any
Stadium
fight.
was off
Come check
the
us out.
chain
The
in
franchise
Vegas
is here.
Kickoff
You need to
Classic.
be
We'll
here
be
too.
back.
This segment was brought to you by National College Resources Foundation, the College Expo. NCRF is a 501c3 nonprofit educational enhancement organization whose mission is to curtail the high school dropout rate and increase degree and/or certificate enrollment among underserved, underrepresented, at-risk, low-resource, homeless, and foster students. For more information, visit www.thecollegeexpo.org today.
Welcome into the Franchise Podcast. All right, guys, the USC Trojans played their cards right on Sunday. It was a tough game, I will say. USC, LSU, 27-20. The game received 9.2 million views on ABC with a peak 11.1. It was ABC's second most watched week game on a record and network's third best Sunday opener. In my opinion, week one of college football was crazy. It was amazing. We saw some shutdowns, like shut straight defeation downs. But for me, USC is it's all of our favorite team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I'm gonna let TQ go
on,
with
man.
this. Okay, TQ, Trish, and Joe were all there, right? Working.
Yep.
These Trish and TQ do all of the photography. So anything you see, go follow us on our Instagram. You'll see all the content there. Joe, what were you doing there?
Press box. I had to write the recap.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, I'm gonna let TQ, right? Because TQ was able to be on the sidelines. So before we started the podcast, he was hearing about the different calls that he was hearing. He was watching Brian Kelly go crazy on the sideline. And you got to see everything in action, in motion, in real life. So tell me about your experience with that.
I love to shoot teams whose offensive system I know. That's why it was so frustrating last year trying to shoot UNLV. I'm just as confused as the coaches on the other side of the field. I know Lincoln Riley's system, and it was pretty easy to just kind of know where the ball was supposed to go. So those are the most fun games, most fun I have when I'm shooting games. The ability, once again, to be able to roam the sidelines, to be able to go and, got these music engineering type ears, so you can just hear so much going on in the middle of it. And
the crowd was crazy.
Oh, it was nuts.
I don't know how you were hearing anything because they couldn't even hear anything.
Yeah, they could barely hear. And it was definitely the loudest I ever heard Allegiant Stadium.
Was it more than the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Because I know you were there for that.
It was more people than the Super Bowl. It was louder than the Super Bowl. LSU and USC, outside of UNLV because we've been covering them, but those are the two teams whose games I had attended the most in my life. Being with Cash Money all of the years that I was with them and having family members and friends attend LSU over the years, and just being back in the Pete Carroll days in LA, if you was a Los Angeles-based artist, come to the sideline, man. Come check out the president. Come see Matt Liner do him. So, I was excited when I saw that was about to happen. I said, I got to shoot that game because it was the opportunity to just see it up close and personal. A LSU night game is, any football fan of any level should go and see that one.
I want to.
Because it is unbelievable. It is to me, that's like the pinnacle of college football. That stadium,
LSU.
yeah, that stadium for a night game against an SEC opponent is just ridiculous.
But then what? You have to go wearing what though? You can't go against the opposite team. Their fans are. It's gonna be. Not to say something. Y'all seen the Niners and Raiders fighting it.
Yeah.
That was. I don't want it to be a situation.
Well, I mean, no, the Southern hospitality is a thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like
So
to
they
hear
don't
that.
go nuts until but the thing is, they get lushed out all day. They start the party early in the morning, and the game don't start till 7 o'clock.
Sounds like our type of party.
That being said, I know the weekend looked like LSU took over, But I think everybody from South Central got in their car Sunday morning and went straight to the stadium.
I wouldn't be
because
surprised.
it was half and half in there, man. And at the time when USC would make a play, it was just as loud from the SC fans as it was from the LSU fans. And you know SC fans, man. They just kind of, they'd be on the phones. They might be filing fingernails, smoking a joint. You just never know with them, right? But this game, that was number one, my favorite game that I've ever shot.
Really?
First and foremost, yes. Number two, the USC defense that we remember is back.
I text Sua Cravens, I said, this is the best defense since Coach O was the interim head coach.
Absolutely.
Sua was like, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely. And then I want to say this more so than anything else. LSU, coaches, players, and fans underestimated USC. They came in thinking that they were going to railroad SC because they listened to all of the SEC bias, the East Coast bias, all of this other stuff. Yeah, the Feinbaum bias and all of this stuff.
Did y'all see his apology?
He apologized?
No, I thought he just said, I could have been wrong.
No.
I could have been wrong.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do that.
He was sorry for all the Trojan fans that he offended, okay?
Oh, please. Listen, two teams coming off of losing the last two Heisman Trophy winners with two new defensive coordinators. You just couldn't have asked for a better game, man. And listen, LSU was out there balling. Like, let's not act like they've completely fell off the wagon. Like, LSU is going to have something to say during this season towards the end. 12 teams can get in now.
Yeah.
So, everybody has a juggernaut of a schedule. I think, just like you said, this was a hell of a week one. And I think that college football as a whole has gotten better because of this expansion to 12 teams. Every week we're going to have championship playoff type games. And I'm all for it, man. That was something that I'm glad that I was a part of. I'm glad I was able to shoot it. And the last thing I'll say about it, I'll bring this back to Vegas. Boy, get ready for Zach Branch.
So,
Gonna have a problem with Zach Branch, man.
woo! Zach and I have been texting since late last week. Zach's friend, right? And Zach and Zion, for that matter, we're both excited to be back. And to see Zach damn near take one to the crib, which stay outside, Zach. You don't need to cut it back inside.
Yeah,
You had him beat
real.
to the outside. He had to do a pirouette to get you.
Real talk.
But Zach is the real deal. And I want to ask you this because Nye alluded to it. When Zach was in the game, what was LSU saying when he was in the game?
Bro, I can't think of the word, but they had a word before one. And they was basically saying, watch him. Whenever he got in the game, everybody's ears and everything perked up. It's time to pay attention. It's the Reggie Bush syndrome, man. And when you see that person that you know that you cannot stop, what are you gonna do? How much of your defense are you gonna devote to paying attention to him when you got a guy that can make the kind of throws that Moss was making
Yes.
all over the field? Listen, man, that kid impressed me. I knew he was good. I knew he was gonna come in with that opportunity of having sat and watched great ones, right? Mm-hmm. But I wasn't expecting the NFL type throws.
That back shoulder he threw in the fourth quarter.
Goodness, man.
Beautiful. So when it comes, first of all, pre-game, I damn near got a tear. And I'm very honest to God. For the first time, non-media, Reggie Bush was back on the USC sideline.
Stood right next to him.
Like that as someone that, I got goosebumps talking about it. As someone that covered him, his career at SC, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't a more electrifying player in college football I've ever seen.
No.
Or covered. At any point, Reggie is just different. Yeah. And a great human being at that. People don't realize he was there after practice putting in work. He wasn't Hollywood. Right. So to see Reggie, and I know how much being a Trojan means to him. I know how much that Heisman meant to him. To get that back. Now give him his damn records back too, NCAA. for that to happen. And then something else. Buki Ridley-Hiles. Remember Buki?
Yeah.
Played up here at Gorman.
Yeah.
Buki's a GA at a SC.
No.
Up in the press box, seen me and Jesse and gave us a big old hug.
Are you
Talked with
serious?
Buki for a while. For someone like that played at Oklahoma,
Yeah.
to have a shot at the NFL, didn't work out, but then to find his purpose immediately after,
all right.
credit Buki for that.
That's all right.
That right there is a solid human being, and I respect that.
That's good, man. Good news.
But for the game itself, Miller Moss's throws, different. The back shoulder, credit 10 for making the catches.
Yeah.
After dropping 2 touchdowns, like to come back and make a big catch.
Yeah.
The running game was decent. It needs to improve a little bit.
Yeah.
But LSU messed up in the beginning of the third quarter, to me.
Yeah, because that running back, boy.
John Emery Jr., they started feeding him in the third quarter, and when
Yeah.
that started happening, SC had to make an adjustment on it quick.
Yeah.
And Deonton Lynn, credit him for doing that as a thank God Lincoln Riley fired his best friend and hired him.
Boy, thank God.
Because this game would have been a blowout if
Yeah.
Grinch was there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been close. And it was refreshing. And I don't mind a 27-20 score. I'm going to tell you guys why. It's a hell of a lot better than 47-40. Because that 20 points against the SEC team that was ranked in the top 15, what does that tell you about when they play the Big 10 teams now? Because Michigan didn't look good. We don't know about Oregon because they were struggling against whoever the hell they were playing.
Right.
So this SC team could be for real. The lines have to hold up.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get the running game going, but from a skill position wise, just like always, they're ready to go. And that safety they got from UCLA,
Yeah.
the real deal.
Yeah.
The real deal. That back end's different.
I think that, I don't think that we used to say this about the Raiders. It's not necessarily about them having a dominant defense. You got to have a defense that can compete, right? The USC has always had skilled players on offense, right? We went through a time there where there was no offensive line. I think they back. I think they definitely are much better than what they had last year. So, just bringing something from the bottom to just the middle of the pack, high middle of the pack, should be able to put you in a better position to compete. Not only that, the expansion to 12 teams. Mm-hmm. Man, that should be a win for SC. If I'm worried about anything about this is they're gonna have to do a lot of traveling.
Yep.
They have to do a lot of going to places where they don't normally play during the regular season. But hey, they're gonna have to get used to it.
Well, those teams have to fly to LA too, though.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
exactly.
it goes both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to talk more about LSU, guys. Did you guys see Brian Kelly's post-conference, his press conference?
Yeah.
Where was his
He was
Louisiana
punching
accent?
the table, first of all, and the thing that stuck with me was that he said the guys can't feel like the game is over on the sideline. Like, immediately LSU came out so dang on cocky. Like,
Yeah.
every single play,
Yeah.
it was honestly too much. Like, do you think that it was okay for him to have that amount of emotion?
I mean, yeah, because I know what he's talking about. And listen, I do not like Brian Kelly. I don't like anybody. The only thing that I like that's ever been connected with Notre Dame is probably Jerome Bettis. Maybe.
Ricky Waters?
Ricky Waters, okay. It's been a couple.
Rocket Ishmael?
It's a couple of them. It's a couple. But coaches, no. So once you're a Notre Dame coach, you're always a Notre Dame coach. And if you go from Notre Dame to the SEC, I have no reason why that would happen. Anyway, I don't even know why they hired that guy. He ain't did nothing. But when they on the sideline mad because a West Coast team is whooping that ass,
Yeah.
oh, I'm in heaven. And he was mad. But I get it. I get it because he's not from the SEC. He doesn't understand, or he hasn't grown up with that bias. He hasn't grown up with this is Louisiana, this is Alabama, this is Georgia, this is Florida. We play better football than everybody else. You can't beat us because you're not from here. That's the vibe down there. So if Oregon has a great season, oh yeah, they got a good season because they don't play nobody. If SC has a good season, oh, they don't play nobody. Michigan, oh, they don't play nobody, blah, 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 blah. I mean, over the last however many years, how many good teams have been in the SEC?
Two.
Two.
And the second team always rotates because there's always Alabama and it was either LSU,
somebody else, or Georgia.
Georgia, Florida.
I mean, it's two. Just like in the Big Ten, just like in the Pac, across the board, it's always two. But let them tell it, and it's because the games are so good, right? They beat each other up so bad. It's nothing going on in these places. In Auburn, Alabama, bro, there is nothing happening. Athens, Georgia, nothing.
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa, nothing. Baton Rouge, you can get on, take a ride. down to-
You get the WOTUS.
Yeah, you can go down there and do that. But like outside of that, college football is the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whereas SC could be playing the damn Dallas Cowboys if the Lakers got a game going on, or the Dodgers is playing, like, okay, whatever. So it's just a lot. It's a lot different coming from down there to here, and Brian Kelly is not one of them. It doesn't matter what type of damn accent he tries to put on at the pep rally. It doesn't matter. He ain't one of them. So that expectation that when he's playing SC,
He goes back to Notre Dame.
he's going to his Notre Dame. This is his biggest game on the docket.
Oh,
Yep.
he hates
You
us.
get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So his thing is, no, you don't have this one yet. And they thought they did. They continued to think that they did. And every time they got cocky, they got hit in the mouth.
Well, there is a SEC arrogance about every SEC team. I think I think we can agree on that.
Agreed.
When you got players doing this after touchdown,
Literally.
and then goes to the sidelines and was like, I just went, like, what do you think is going to happen?
That was
Why
just.
why did that make everybody so mad? The man was shooting blanks, obviously. Took that L, turned it upside down, went back to the boot. Who cares? Let him shoot everything.
But the thing is this, as far as Brian Kelly's, what he did, I'm more outraged he wasn't more pissed.
Yeah.
Because if your responsibility as a head coach, you're the CEO of an organization.
Yeah.
They take on your personality, how you are. You look at this UNLV team. Look at the Pete Carroll teams. Free and clear. They play, but hey, tough as nails.
Yeah.
That's Brian Kelly's personality. How many times has he blown leads before because he's Brian Kelly and I have this offense?
Yeah.
Like, now, for me, he tried to have this whole Zen mantra last year, and it's easy when you got Jaden Daniels throwing the ball to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Guys, you didn't even recruit.
Real
I
talk.
mean, Jaden went there in the portal. Somebody paid him right.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it's good to see Jay on the sideline, too.
Yeah.
But overall, like, Brian Kelly, like, I've always thought he was somewhat of an overrated coach. And to see this, I like the fact that they lost. I don't understand how Nussmeier got all this hype coming into the season when he didn't start for 2 years. And he also was a potential first-round pick, hasn't played it down or barely played at all.
Nussmeier didn't have a bad game.
No, he didn't. But at the same time, like, you have all these weapons.
Yeah.
USC shut him down. Now either
USC got a defense,
that's
man.
either it says a lot
They
about
were not
UNLV's defense,
expecting that. That's what it is.
or it says a lot about the LSU offense currently.
I think it says more about SC's defense because LSU's offense this year is closer to what it was last year than SC's defense is to what it was last year.
Okay.
SC's defense last year was hot, unadulterated garbage.
Yep.
Trash.
The last few years.
Right? The last few years. That's nowhere close to what we've seen in this game.
So to that point, LSU may have had a reason to be arrogant because look at that defense and how they've been.
Absolutely. That's the point I'm making. That's what I felt from before kickoff in the pregame, all the way up until they didn't think they was gonna lose on the last drive.
Yeah.
They thought they would get the ball back and go down and win. Literally, they lost when they lost. So that huge step that SC's defense has taken, I think is going to carry them this season. If they stay healthy, they're going to cause problems in the Big Ten.
Agreed. Did you guys see that USC trolling LSU? Wait, I was trying to make.
I loved it.
I was trying to make sure I did it right. I freaking love that. All right, guys, we are going to be right back. We're going to talk about next up the Las Vegas Raiders and the Chargers, guys. The season is back. It is upon us. We are so happy.
This section was brought to you by Coldwell Banker Premier Realty. Coldwell Banker is a service-driven, highly productive team of professional sales and support people who are dedicated to consistently providing superior real estate brokerage and related services, setting the industry standard of value and excellence.
All right, guys, welcome back into the Franchise Podcast. All right, last but not least, who would we be without speaking about the NFL season?
Raiders.
Guys, Raiders, Chargers is going down SoFi on Sunday. Joe, I'm going to start off with you with this one. This is exciting. I actually don't even know. Is Justin Herbert still hurt? Is he's not?
No,
he's probably
playing.
not.
He's playing.
He's playing. Dang. Okay. They got a new team. They got a new head coach. They got Justin Herbert. They got some decent pieces in the draft. Joe, what's your expectations for the Raiders in this new up-and-coming season? And then give me a quick crossover with the Chargers and the Raiders.
Okay. Raider fans, I'm optimistic Raider Joe today. I've been that all offseason. Tell you like this, 10-7, playoff bound. That's what I think. And I'll say this. They're going to beat the Chargers on Sunday. In part because the Chargers don't have any offensive weapons for Justin Herbert. They got Ladd McConkey as their number one receiver, a rookie from Georgia. I like the Raiders' offense. I like the Raiders' weapons. I love their defense. Jack gonna shut down Laddie boy. And I look for Devontae to go off. Devontae's pissed. You see, they put the Pop-Tart of trash and with Devontae on it. Like, look, y'all don't know nothing about Tay. Like, I've been knowing this with this dude since Fresno State. This dude is don't piss Tay off. I'm looking for Tay to catch for about $145 and 3 tugs to kick off the season right for Raider Nation.
Whew. 10-7 is a bold prediction.
boy. I mean,
but hey, I'm a Raiders fan, so
I'm gonna be a little more realistic.
He's a little realistic.
I
yes.
gotta be a little more realistic.
Pessimistic.
About the situation. No, I'm not pessimistic at all because I feel like we have a defense, and just like I said about UNLV, just like I said about USC.
He's a defensive guy.
Period. Point blank. Defense can win you games and win you championships if offense don't turn the ball over.
And he's talking all this talk about Devontae Adams.
Hey, who's throwing him the ball, man?
Exactly.
How is he going to get
The
the
pass has
ball
gotta get to
do
him.
all of this, what you saying that he's going to do?
Okay, wait a minute. You guys were just talking of
goodness.
Sluka in 2 segments ago about he's a game. Gardner's a gamer. How can you have one theory about one and not another? This is the dude that almost led the Colts to the play. It took him to week 18 last year and almost got him in the playoffs. With the hurt Michael Pittman, with Jonathan Taylor that was a bum last year. Like, this is the dude that was the...
Do I need to say this again, man? Do I need to say this again? Patrick Mahomes twice. Justin Herbert twice.
Blah, blah, blah.
And listen, say what you want to say. Sean Payton and Bo Nix are not just going, you're just not just going to run through them people, man. I'm just saying, you give Sean Payton the quarterback that he wants, expect some problems. So, okay, you got this love affair with Gardner Minshew, fine, cool. What he did with the Colts and what he did with the Jaguars. Who do these people play? Who do they play? They are in
They beat the Raiders.
That's the weakest division in football. That's the who's good? Who?
Houston.
Come on, man. Houston it was day before yesterday. Houston was trash.
Houston.
Literally day before yesterday, Houston was trash. And they was trash for the whole while that Gardner Minshew was in Jacksonville and pretty much in Indianapolis too. At the end of the day, Houston has had one good year. Okay, we'll see what they do this year. We don't know yet. What I'm saying is Gardner Minshew has not shown me that he's ready for Justin Herbert twice and Patrick Mahomes twice and Sean Payton twice. That's my issue with the whole thing. You're going to have somebody that can throw the ball on time. Put the ball in the place where it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be there. I haven't seen
and
that
no turnovers, Jesus,
and no
please.
turnovers.
Lord,
I ain't seen that from these guys,
to you
man.
now.
Bro,
Please.
you say Devontae is mad. Oh man, if Minshew come out there and throw 2 interceptions, bro, we're gonna see Devontae's dreads flying off his head.
Yep.
Listen, I hope, I'm a Raider fan through and through. I'm not shooting the game Sunday. I'm watching the game. I'm gonna be drunk. I'm gonna be loud, boisterous, rambunctious. I'm gonna make noise. I hope.
I'm surprised you're not going.
I'm going.
You're going to the actual game.
I'm going to the game as a spectator,
He be
as
living
a
his life.
member of Raider Nation,
Okay.
loud, because first of all, I'm upset because we have these, what should we call them? Migrants? What should we call them? Refugees?
Refugees.
You got these refugees in the stadium in Los Angeles that just hijack our name.
2 sets of refugees.
I mean, they just hijack our name, just put Los Angeles, just scrape San Diego out, bulldoze the stadium. I went to the stadium down there, the
you
new
better quite
Snapdragon for the Manchester United game a couple of weeks ago.
How was that?
Why couldn't they play there? It's better than Qualcomm. Why couldn't they just play there?
San Diego State said you can't play there because the Spanishes didn't want to pay any money for a stadium.
Listen, I'm a protest if they win. I'm a protest because they shouldn't be here. They should go back to San Diego as soon as possible. They've come to Los Angeles. They brought these stupid powder blue uniforms. We don't like it, okay? We don't like it. So the whole point is for Raider Nation to come out on Sunday, fill the place up. Fill the place up. We don't want to see no blue in that joint on Sunday.
Okay,
let's will this team to a win because honestly, if we win this game, I feel good for about a month. I wouldn't even care what happens.
Look, this is actually the Raiders' home opener.
Period.
Like,
Point
it
blank.
really is. Like that's right. That's was it? SoFi is like
Allegiant
Raider
South.
Nation part, Allegiant South, Raider
Yeah.
Nation headquarters.
And I'm here. I heard
2.0.
a bunch of Chargers fans I've been listening to. I heard Stephen A. a couple of weeks ago talking about, oh, it's even when you go see the Raiders and the Chargers. Oh, even what? Even?
What?
No, man.
He really
No.
said that?
Yes, man. That's what he
Steven.
said. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. Like, the
Steven.
Chargers got.
Tell the
some
producer to get out
type
here
of
to give
fan
you
base.
some real
Come
news.
on,
That's
man.
not true.
Stop it, man. The Raiders own Los Angeles, the Raiders own Las Vegas, and the Raiders own Oakland. Period, point blank. That's why we're a nation. Get it? It's a whole part of the whole country. And we got to show up Sunday.
SoFi about to be bleeding in silver and black.
Come on, man.
Did
Take
you guys
over
see?
like we
Did you
always
guys
do.
see?
And we
I
play the
mean,
Rams down there later this year too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure y'all has taken a look at the depth chart.
Yeah.
We need to talk about roster cuts as well. You guys, you know what caught me off guard is we're just rolling with 2 quarterbacks right now.
Most teams
Bradley
are.
and Peterman just.
Most teams are, and it's because the NFLPA didn't agree to a deal where you carry a third that wouldn't count against the roster if it was a third, which I don't understand. NFLPA, you fumbled that, and you tend to fumble a lot of negotiations.
Especially with the amount of quarterbacks that got hurt last year and year before last. Like, a backup quarterback became extremely valuable over the last 2
Extremely.
seasons.
I thought Bradley.
We seen it with the Niners. It was Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, and then
Oh,
Brock
my
Purdy. Like
goodness.
you just see it. You know what I mean?
I thought Bradley had a chance to stick. I really did. The way he played in practice, I thought he was a legit, like, all right. And
I knew that was a wrap once they did that whole X-nayed that deal. And I'm like, nah, they're not keeping 3.
All right, tell me, a surprise cut.
I was a little surprised with Wilkerson getting cut, the receiver. He had a really good camp. He had 2 really good games. But then you look at the last game, and the younger guy stepped up.
Yeah.
You know, Wilkerson made it through 2 regimes with Gruden and McDaniels, and this would have been a third. But for me, that was kind of the surprise cut. And then getting rid of Faison, like you know, with the injury settlement.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they signed a former Giant corner. get his name, but yeah, they.
I know they signed a new corner. I didn't know they got rid
That's
of him.
how they created the roster spot.
Damn.
They got tired of waiting for the injuries. So that was kind of a surprise.
Oh, man, I was pulling for him, man. Because when he's not hurt, you could tell he can play ball.
Yeah, that's like few and far between.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what surprised me. It wasn't necessarily a cut, but listen. For those that don't know, like, cut week is rough, right? And when you're around football as much as me and Joe are, and you know so many kids, even with the company here, we start shooting at NYS level, right? All the way through high school, college, and the pros. Like, cut week is
detrimental.
Man, people just don't talk about how rough it is. Like, you're in the balance there. You go to be able to just end up in the position where you can get cut. You literally have to be one of the best 1,800 players of that sport on earth just to be in that position. And to be that good, you had to have put in sacrifice, right? The amount of time in the gym, the amount of time in the weight room, the amount of time on the field, going over this craft over and over again. Now you're at the pinnacle of it. It's the NFL, and you get a call saying you didn't make the team. For some players, it could lead to something else, right? Not making one team turns into a blessing that you make another one, right? Mm-hmm. Not making one team one year and getting put on the practice squad allows you to get better. Maybe you make the team next year. But for some, that last preseason game is the last time you put on an NFL uniform.
Maybe a football uniform ever.
Period, right? During this week, me and this man, we have talked people off the ledge. We have cried and congratulated. We have been on phones trying to find people jobs. Like, it is a life-changing week. Do you know what I saw last week more than anything else? Women on Instagram, on TikTok, telling all the man's business, crying, giving a whole performance about, oh, we gotta move, oh, the baby's gotta change schools, Listen, I'm not gonna say this to the wives. If you're a wife, that's between you and your man. If you was my wife, I would come home and take your phone and flush it down the toilet if you did that to me. But hey, I'm not married, so the wives, do you. But these girlfriends, these baby mamas, can you get a man a chance to just get himself together before you go out and tell the world his business on the worst day of his life? Like, do you not read the room? Can you let him speak first? Bro, the performances that I saw last week, I'm so glad that I just didn't go with my Twitter fingers and just speak off of emotions, because I would have had a whole lot of people upset with me. But I let it chill out. Be cool. I see I got a little upset right there. See my blood's boiling. Let's calm down a little bit. And I'm saying, ladies, please, ladies.
Oh, he's being nice.
Please understand, your man has feelings himself. He has emotions himself. He may not speak on it like you do because he's not female, right? But that time, of any time, for a football player, it's rough. It's rough emotionally. It's rough to the point of you don't know what you're going to do next. While you're worried about where the kids are going to school at next, he's worried about how's he gonna pay for it. So please, just think about that before you go to Instagram and TikTok. I know that some of y'all are pretty hot and tempting, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you get your money off of this.
So they're bag
platforms
chasers.
pay you, whatever. Fine. Some of them get their money from doing this. Can we just get off of doing cut week? Please. Mm-hmm. Please.
You said when you brought this up pre-show, right? I thought about a player that in 2020 didn't make a team. Known this guy since he went to college. I'm not gonna say which college. He called me up saying goodbye because he was gonna kill himself.
Exactly.
He thought his life was over. He got a job working at Amazon, and his life, I played football my entire life.
Exactly.
I 3-time captain, blood, sweat, and tears for the university.
Yes.
I called a friend who employed the former strength coach, and he got to be, he went over there and started being a mentee.
Good.
Got his certifications.
Nice.
Now he's coaching high school football, and he's in the best place in his life.
I remember this.
No.
So for me, I have a brother that went undrafted, signed with the Chiefs, made the team because Herm Edwards believed in him, got cut because they drafted a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round, took his spot, goes to the Jets. They draft Sanchino, Mark Sanchez. They had to cut some players to get the contract signed. He gets cut. Rex tells him, we're going to bring you back because we want you for special teams. Jacksonville claimed him. Went down to Jacksonville because of Nickelback. But Reggie Nelson, in his 2nd or 3rd year there, coming to meetings late, sleep in meetings, moved him to safety, started over Reggie for 2.5 years down there for Jack Del Rio. They, right before the strike happened or the lockout, signs a deal with them to make sure his money is cool, a 1-year deal. They come back from camp, they cut him after week 1, say, it gives you time to catch on with another team. No, it doesn't.
Please.
He went to Canada, played 5.5 years up there, won a Grey Cup. He is elected into the Saskatchewan Rough Riders Hall of Fame this past offseason. Coached for the Argonauts for a year, won another Grey Cup as a DB coach. He found purpose out. They both did. Yeah. But there's been a lot of people, like you said, that we know that they like you see them, you're like, what are you doing now? Man, I'm chilling.
Bro.
If they're doing that and they're drugged out, they're luscious, they don't have a pot to piss in.
It's rough, man. It's rough, man. And listen, I'm not leaning on CTE or talking down on football or anything, but look, man, we played in high school. Like, to just banging your head up against stuff over and over again, like, doesn't create the best environment for cut week in a person's mind at all. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my whole point. Like, you went, I didn't want to go that far, but I'm glad you did now that you did. I'm not trying to, blame any of these ladies for adding to anything like that purposely, but just pay attention. Like, attention at this point should be paid to your man and not to you. Don't make the situation worse. I'm saying it from somebody who knows. I'm not trying to preach. This man knows. I know. I've been in the position. We older. We know how this goes. We mentor a lot of people, and we're always in this position during cut week, having to speak to somebody about their mental health based on this situation. So, ladies, please, going forward, just think about that.
Before we go, Friday night, it's the high school national championship.
Hey.
Our friends, our little brothers, people we cover, friends that coach there, Bishop Gorman, they travel down to Bristol to take on Mater Dei. This is a game that if you can be there, you get there. If you can stream it, spend the $5 for the stream, and then discontinue it. This is everything you want.
Yeah.
I got on good authority. I didn't even tell you guys this. I wanted to say this one. Brent Browner has been coaching his ass off at practice. I've never seen Brent like this in the 4+ years that I've known him.
What you mean coaching his ass off?
You know how sometimes going into a big game, coaches are kind of like, they're wound tight?
Yeah.
And no, he's coaching hard. He is laser focused. The kids are the kids said this. I'm going to let you guys know we're trying to get down there. At least Trish and I are. TQ, I'm pretty sure, is going to be there. Anthony's going to be there. They're like, is the franchise going to be there? Ant told them they're going to try. We're going to try. And man, it's going to be great when we beat them on their field and we do the show here. Like, these kids, they know what this is about. So I'm looking for Gorman to put it on Mater Dei because I don't think this is the same Mater Dei, and I don't care if it's bulletin board material. It's coming from me, not Gorman. I've watched Mater Dei. I've watched their game against Corona Centennial, was not impressed. Gorman, go take care of business so we can watch you do what you do in November and host up another national championship at the high school level.
Look, we're going to do the best we can, all right? We're going to do the best we can to cover this game. Naturally, we don't have all the control that we normally have. There's a little bit of hate.
A little bit.
Coming in from the OC, but we're going to figure it out to be there to try to support you guys for another national championship. That's what I'm predicting.
All right, guys, we're wrapping it up. But before we go, Chiefs, Ravens, who's your pick?
Chiefs, Ravens?
Who's your pick?
Who's
your pick for tonight?
I'm going Lamar Jackson, man. That's my fantasy football quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going Lamar. Listen, I wouldn't pick. The only team that I would pick the Chiefs over is maybe Alabama, definitely Notre Dame. Neither one of those things are going to happen. So, hey, they can't play the Celtics.
Who you got?
I got the Ravens as well.
Oh.
And I got Green Bay on Friday night. Yeah.
Come on, fly.
Buenos Aires.
I got the Ravens as well.
Buenos Aires?
Trish, who you taking? We got to ask our producer what she's taking.
No, wait.
She's taking the Ravens.
Buenos Aires is not in Brazil.
I don't care.
Got to fix that. Come on, man.
I don't care.
You need to go get a geography class, look at a map or something.
Public school. No, leave it on there. I don't care.
That's hilarious. I do like it.
Buenos
All right,
Aires.
guys, we all taking the Baltimore. How do you say it? Baltimore? We all taking the Baltimore Ravens, okay? This is the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens Revenge Tour. Let's get this beat down. Guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy this football weekend because we're going to be kicking back.
Raiders.
And we're going to be chilling. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later.
Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashion over dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss.